So what we plan to do, so we're going to show how to create a sign-up page using JavaFX and Scene Builder. And this sign-up will create a binary file. Right when you create a page, you prompt user for email and password, and that email and password is going to store into a binary file. Now we're going to test to sign in by reading the binary file to see if we can authenticate the user. We may test with like several users, right? Step, we're going to have to create a sign up page using Scene Builder first. Okay, and so this is a sign up page. Alright, so what we did, we just use dot, right? Since we are on homepage controller, we have to go up outside controller folder. Then we just go back into view folder /view and / to the file name. Like in this case, we do sign up. We go to signup.fxml. Right. The other one is just when you do login, past login, you go to survey.fxml. So alright, so now let's test this. Sign up with an email. Password. Register. Alright, so it's throwing an exception in signup controller.java line 25 right there. When you click this, jump to the errors. So let's read no part exception. That's easy to deal with. Something that's new. You try to access something that's new. Oh, like I said, maybe this is a problem right here. I just test that this is new, because if you want to link to the fxml, you have to do annotation fxml for each ID. Right. I'm talking about this fxid. Otherwise, it seems like you never create objects, so it's no. Alright, let's test again. Okay, so it worked. So we see it's took my information, then it should create a file right there. This is a binary file, right? That in my code, again, I said this is just print out to make sure that it works. Then if they're equals, then it's generate the object and then write a file, but the file is that name, email name .dat. So if you open the file, you see, yeah, like my password, but this is an object file, so it's going to show you like that. So that's how you write to the file. Now we're gonna sign in. So we're gonna sign in and authenticate the user with this file, right? So sign in is on the home page. Handle sign in. Now I don't need this anymore. I don't need to hard code it here anymore. So correct username, pretty much just going to get it from right now. We just initialize the instance variables to use. Which normally if you don't do, it's going to be null, and then we can just assign it. Because this is an instant variable, so we can just leave it like null. When we authenticate, right? So this one you load create survey, right? So this is, I just try to check if I can get a username and password from fxml homepage, which when I try to sign in, put those two and click sign in. So when I click sign in, it's going to take the values into the controller right there. And this is just launch. And I said if, so I have the method name authentication to check if both of them are correct. Then we open the new page, which is create survey. Right, there's another page, so user can create survey. Open that page. Now, else is going to just go to that page and say, hey, you failed authentication. Make that text visible. Like that page means the home page that I have the text hidden. It's actually somewhere down here. You're not gonna see it, so I make it visible. If it's false authentication. Now, the authentication now is going to be a little bit different. This authentication has to read the correct username and correct password, right? So this is where we're going to read from. Right. So we have to do the reading. This is write. We are going to read the binary file now. And to read the binary file, we just do object input stream. Right. Specify the file name, object input stream, and you have to cast it back because you read as object. Alright, so we gotta do file input stream. Right. File input stream. Input equals to new file input stream. Now you pretty much know the file name, right? It's the email name, which is the username, because we create a file name and use the email name. Username plus .dat, right? So that's the email username.dat. Now this is gonna be file name, which I'm going to use the file, right? File equals to new file and paste this back. And then since this argument has to take the file type, right? Then it has to do try catch now when you use this. So try to input the stream and catch if there's a file exception AX. So we try that, and if there's errors, it's going to call right error reading file. file input stream. We need to import that, right? Do we have it? So let's check. Okay, file has to be import. So we're gonna type import java.io.file. Okay. System dot er.print, right? So now we try that. After we be able to open the file, then we gotta do the object input stream and pass the file, right? Because the file is just dealing with the file. Now we have to do dealing with the object. Obj equals to new object. It has to be input stream, right? Because we are reading in. New object input stream, and this is the input file, and this has to do another catch, right? This is going to be IO exception EX. So error reading object. Correct. Now, after we reading an object, create an object, we can start to read. So we read an object, and this object is a user. So we have to make sure that we create a user, and we have to import it from the model, right? Import class. It's going to import survey.model because I moved into model right there. So we read that, and we have to cast that back to user because this is an object input stream reading as an object. Now I able to access to the user. After we cast that, so it seems like the method is not correct. So read object. There you go. So read object. We have to do another catch, class not found exception. Because we try to see in case we cast and the class is not valid, then it's going to throw error reading class. Okay. Alright, so we get the object. Now, this is a time where we start to get the correct email, right? Where you're going to have the correct username and password right there, which I no longer need it as attributes of the class. If you want to have it as an attribute, it's not a good practice to have that if you no longer use it everywhere else inside the class. So just put it where you're going to use it. It's only used in authentication. Then I said this is the correct, right? Correct uname, because that uname I use as the email as a username, and correct pw equals to users.get password, and that